I'm not saying that systemic racism doesn't exist and that all these things that we don't have some work to do. What I'm saying is that everybody who's white is not always racist, and everybody who's black is not always good. What's going on, everybody? I don't know about you, but I have believed a lot of what I would say are misconceptions and lies in my life. And maybe I was taught them by other people, or I had come to these conclusions by myself, or whatever happened. But I've grown up, and as I grow up, you kind of realize that some of the things that you believed are not actually real. So as an African American in the United States, and I grew up in the South, right? I grew up in Texas, the deep South. Racism is so thick you can cut it with a knife down there. I grew up with kind of like this victim mindset, where I thought that black people were like the victims of white people all the time, and that black people were good and white people were evil. They even have this saying, they call white people white devils. Now, not every black person says this, but there have been groups of people who have said things like this, okay? And so you kind of grow up with this mindset of thinking, oh, watch out for white people because white people will do you dirty. I grew up 18 years, in the thick of the South, in the racism and all these things. I say it like this: you can't grow up in the mud and not get dirty, right? So I myself had some racist beliefs or some prejudices that I had either been taught or conclusions that I had come to through my experiences in living in the deep South. I got up here to Sioux City, Iowa, and I'll tell you the truth, I met so many white people who just genuinely loved me and cared about me and just wanted the best for me, that it challenged my thought process that white people were just evil. Not only that, but then I went home to Texas one day and a black person robbed my house. So boom, I have this, the misconception is being challenged now, because before it was like, oh, white people are evil and they hate us, can't trust them, all these things. And then I get up here to Sioux City and I realize, yo, these people actually care about me. Like, they're low-key nice. And then all of a sudden I had to be faced with the evidence that I have been believing, misconceptions. I'm not saying that systemic racism doesn't exist and that all these things that we don't have some work to do. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that everybody who's white is not always racist, and everybody who's black is not always good. Matter of fact, I found out that it's not a skin issue, it's a sin issue. What do I mean by that? Okay, just like I found white people who were great and they really loved me, I found at least one black person who didn't love me. He robbed my house. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? That made me challenge the lies that I had been believing. And I had to come to real conclusions that it's not about the person or the race or anything like that, but what's really important is the person's heart. And it's the same thing for you. You have to be able to tell for your own life, what are some of the misconceptions you have in your life? And how do you challenge that with the truth? So how about we do that right now? Go down in the comment section and tell me, what are some of the misconceptions that you have been believing in your life, that you have been shown through time that they were actually lies that you were believing? And then how did you challenge those lies with the truth? Like this post, and also share this so other people can hear this. A lot of us believe lies that we need to address in our life.
Music. Look, I seen it all. Every man falls, but if you keep your eyes on God, he'll be there when you talk. Your